guys? Welcome back to the Mike Check Podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ. Thanks for tapping in. Today, we're going to be talking about the mega fight between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. due to take place on July 29th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate the feedback. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. So today's subject is going to be the importance of a resume, and does it matter what a fighter's resume is once they step into the ring with a formidable opponent. So there's been plenty of talk going back and forth about the difference between Errol Spence's resume and Terrence Crawford's resume. And one of the biggest things that people point to is, since moving up to the welterweight ranks, Terrence Crawford has been undefeated. He's knocked out every opponent. He's fought people that are in the top 10, and he's even taken care of a couple of mandatory challengers and even fought the likes of Kell Brook and Shawn Porter. On the other side of that coin, you have Errol Spence, who's also taken on, the top of the cream of the crop, the top of the division. He's fought champions and former welterweight champions, and as necessary, he's fought his mandatory, Ocampo specifically, and I believe Danny Garcia was considered a mandatory for his WBC belt. And this was after the accident. Other than that, it's basically been champions on his resume since he became a champ. When you look at Shawn Porter, Mikey Garcia, obviously Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, these have been pretty tough foes to face at 147 pounds for a guy who's big for the weight class. He's been talking about maybe wanting to move up because it's getting harder to make the weight. He's making it. He's never missed on the scale, but it's getting harder. So when you look at these two and you think about their opponents at 147 pounds, at least since 2018, just to be fair, because that's going to include everybody that Terrence Crawford fought, including Jeff Horn, the lone champion that he beat at 147. And then you've got Jose Benavidez Jr., again, Kell Brook, Shawn Porter. You've got Mean Machine and David Avanesian. And when you evaluate the fighters, I think that it's important to understand that resume kind of dictates, I like to call it strength of schedule. When you think about other sports like football, basketball, when they start to rank and seed people, strength of schedule comes into play because they say, hey, if you play a tough schedule, even if you've lost because your schedule was so tough, we're going to rank you higher than a team that is undefeated, but they didn't play a lot of good, tough teams. So if you take that undefeated team that's, basically played against a lot of B-level, and then you take the one-loss team and they played against pretty much all A-level competition, there's typically an advantage to be held for the one-loss team because iron sharpens iron. So the tougher your challenge, the tougher you're pushed, the more battle-tested and battle-ready you tend to be. Now, Terrence Crawford has the skills to overcome that disparity and make it a closer fight with Errol Spence, but I think it will play a part that he hasn't faced all of the best welterweights at their best, and I also believe that Errol Spence hasn't faced all of the best welterweights, but he's faced most of them, with the exception of Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford. So it's not as if the challenge wasn't laid down. He tried to fight Keith years ago, and now he's going to get in the ring with Terrence. So the only one who will be left, he'll probably end his career with never fighting Keith. He just won't give him the payday. But other than that, he's taken on all the biggest and best challenges at his weight class, and so far he's been victorious. I don't know that I could say the same about Terrence Crawford at 147. If you look at career achievements, he's obviously done far more than Errol Spence. He's won titles in 3 divisions. He's reigned for a longer period of time. He's also been undisputed at 140 pounds. And you could say he essentially cleaned out the division, even though he got the belts relatively easy. He beat enough opponents at 140, and he even did his thing at 135. But at 147, I believe his resume plays second fiddle to Errol Spence. Now, what I don't subscribe to is people who say that Shawn Porter has the best resume at 147 because he fought everybody. Well, he fought everybody and he lost to most of them. So I can't say he's got the best. You've got to win as well. It's like, hey, they played everybody tough, but they keep losing. That doesn't work for me to rank you high. If you can't get on the pound for pound list with that resume, then you can't have the best resume if it doesn't get you on pound for pound list. So all of that to say, I think that resume is important, and I think that we're in a time that we should be able to evaluate these things from a realistic standpoint and just call a spade and just say, hey, man, one guy has definitely fought champions and taken belts off champions at a particular weight class, and the other guy has fought some of those people just to put them on the resume, but not really at their best. Sean Porter, Kell Brook. I don't care what anybody says, these weren't the best versions of those fighters. And I don't call them leftovers. I'm just saying that these weren't the best versions. Everybody fights somebody leftovers if you don't fight them first. But all of that to summarize, resumes are going to play a part in how prepared for some of what each of these men are going to face on July 29th. So let me know what you think. Drop it down in the comments. If you're a channel, make a reply video. We can go back and forth. It's all good. But this is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to stand on it like my boy Showboat say. But this has been T for the Mic Check Podcast. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.